And so the book basically follows this family called the Bennett family, where Mr. and Mrs. Bennett have 5 girls, and the mom is kind of like obsessed with getting these girls married, and that's like the driving force of the entire book. Like the opening line says that like a man of good fortune must be in want of a wife, and so that's really what's happening here.
You want to say together?
Sure.
It is
I don't.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man
of large
good
fortune
must be in want of a wife.
Yes. That's the opening sentence that set the entire novel, right?
Mm-hmm. And so, and then you like immediately see how there was this like rich guy who moved into the neighborhood, and the mom was like, "Oh, I have to get him married with one of my girls," and so she sets him up with the oldest girl, the eldest, Jane, and so it like after that the entire plot goes on with how her mother just tries so that Jane get along well with this family, and then she ended up one day like staying at their house, the what do you call it, the Netherfield estate. She ended up staying there, and then what is it called? Yeah, she ended up staying there, and there was like a second. It was like,
because she got sick, right?
Yeah, she got sick, and then what is it? So that's like one of the main characters, and then the other is Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy. So Mr. Darcy is Mr. Bingley's friend who came by with him, and he's like 10 times richer, but he's also like 10 times snobbier and 10 times more arrogant. And it's so funny. And then Elizabeth is Jane's younger sister, like the one after her. And so Elizabeth obviously does not like Darcy. She thinks he's arrogant and like self-righteous and all that. But then when her sister got sick, she had to go, and she was like, "Oh, I have to visit my sister." So she went, and then there, Mr. Darcy started to like her, but she still thinks that, oh, this guy's just like this arrogant dude. I don't want anything to do with him. And they didn't get along well, and it got worse when after Jane got better, they went back to their house, and it got worse when suddenly Mr. Bingley had to leave town, when the prospect of marriage between Jane and Mr. Bingley was like super close. Like he almost proposed, but then he suddenly moves out, and they're like, "Wait, what's happening?" And Jane is heartbroken and all that. And then another man came into like the picture. It was Mr. Wickham, and he told like a rumor that destroys like Darcy's reputation in the eyes of everyone in town. So they didn't like him, and now they hate him. So that's basically what happened with him. And Elizabeth sort of like thinks of Mr. Wickham as her friend. So she's like, "Oh, I hate Darcy even more now." And then I think Jane went to London, and then Elizabeth went on this like trip with oh wait, no, not yet, sorry. She went to visit her friend who lives, I think, near Darcy's aunt, and